Thank you, Mr. President. I am also humbled and honored that in our first session, we are able to deliver this critically important piece of legislation on behalf of women some of us know, and women and men many of us will never know. What I hope is that because of this legislation, as part of a much greater agenda of addressing the disturbing stories and patterns of harassment of people in the workplace, that even if we don't know the people, 5 years from now we can look back and say, it's getting a bit better because now people understand you can't get away with it. And we are making it clearer to people what the ground rules are before they start. Mr. President, I'm no longer a young woman, but for years and years, both in this Senate, in this town, and in the rest of my life, I have heard the stories of young people who have been harassed and abused in their workplace tell me that they couldn't afford to lose the job. They couldn't afford to come forward. They were convinced that they would never get a job in that field again, in this city of Albany again, that they would be both shunned and technically blacklisted from ever being able to work in fields that they were committed to. It's perhaps most disturbing when you hear those stories taking place when people are working for the public sector, for government, for elected officials. We are elected to be models and to lead and to hope that people follow by our example. So when we violate the public's trust and individuals' trust, we have violated our entire purpose for being. And when young people who decide to come and work in the legislature, in the government, go through these experiences, they don't just get harmed themselves, Mr. President. They go home and they tell their stories and say, oh no, if you're a good person, if you're a smart person, government isn't the place for you. Stay away from them. Nobody should have to be afraid when they go to work that they're going to face the kind of violations, not just of their bodies, but of their souls, that comes with being abused and harassed and sexually attacked in their workplace, Mr. President. So I know this isn't enough, but it's a huge victory. And I'm so proud of my colleagues and my new colleagues this year who took on the mantle of this responsibility and have done an extraordinary job getting us here. And I also want to recognize the members of the Sexual Harassment Work Group who are with us today and who so boldly came forward, demanded we do better, demanded we have hearings, demanded we listen to their stories, and demanded that we listen to their analysis of what makes a piece of legislation good and what makes a piece of legislation make us feel good but not do anything. So thank you. Thank the lead sponsors. I'm very, very proud that we're getting this done today. Of course I vote yes, Mr. President. Thank you.